Arsene, can we start with your teams?
Yes, we have. I don't think anybody who was out for our last game at Hull will come back. And we have an uncertainty about Ramsey, who got a big knock on his bone, on his fibula. And we'll see how he recovers from that.
What are his chances? 50-50?
Yeah.
On Monday, you named the same team in the Premier League for the fourth game in a row, the first time you've ever done that. How reluctant are you, Ramsey aside, to change this winning team?
Well, I'm ready to change, but we had the stability on the tactical front, the confidence was there, and I didn't change recently, but I have no problem to change the players because they are all in a very good shape, the players who practice, and players like Walcott, Wiltshire, Gibbs, for example, I felt in the recent weeks they were not completely there, but now they are all there on a competitive front, so there's no problem.
And Swansea on Monday, a team that caused you some problems earlier this season.
Yes, it's a game we lost, and you could see now that with 3 points in that period of the season we couldn't afford to drop them, and the regret we had is we were 1-0 up and lost the game in the final part of the game. But it was down to bad defending, sloppy defending, and that's what I think we have regressed, but we have still room for improvement, and our target is to continue to make progress.
Arsene, the votes are in, they've been counted. Recently there's been a big vote and a big decision to make. Any reaction this morning from you, from the news that Nigel Pearson is the manager of the month for April?
Nigel Pearson has won the elections, you want to say, so I'm happy for him. Congratulations.
In all seriousness, in terms of your team news, Danny Welbeck, what's the situation with him? Would he play again this season, do you think, Danny?
Yeah, he will play again this season. He had all the scans and medical checks, nothing major, just an inflammation. But for the weekend he will be certainly short, but for the game after should be all right.
And Ramsey will play again this season too, do you think?
Ramsey will play again.
In terms of transfer business, Manchester United signed Depay yesterday, a marquee signing for them, and we expect more from them. Can you talk a little bit about the importance you think for this summer of doing transfer business early?
What you want to do more than early is to do it right, put it right, and make the right decisions. Sometimes the opportunity comes up early. Last year we made Sanchez quite in the middle of a transfer window. You have to take the opportunities when they come up, and that's not only decided by your desire, sometimes by the opportunity of a club who sells as well. Sanchez was available because they bought Suarez. They could only buy Suarez beginning of July, we were not sure. So you have just to be always on alert and do the business. Fix your target, be on alert and do it when it's possible. But you're not the only one who can decide that.
Have you done anything early yet? Have you made any early preparations like Manchester United have done?
No, at the moment we haven't done anything. We would have told you.
And in terms of him as a player, was he ever a target of yours? Is he someone you kept a close eye on?
That's I like the player, but that's positions where we have plenty, in abundance. He plays wide, and we have 7 or 8 players who can play wide for 2 positions.
Carl Jenkinson's future, has anything been decided on that yet? West Ham fans are starting to make some noises that they would like him to stay there.
Yeah, that will be. I met Carl Jenkinson, in fact, this week to speak about his future, and we'll come down, sit down together again at the end of the season.
Was there any significant?
My target is to keep him here at the club.
Do you think he could fit into the team regularly next season? Has it been a beneficial season for him on loan?
He had a great season for me, and he has moved forward, and overall he has gained a lot confidence. The decision I have to make, do I bring him back now or Does he need one more year, to play somewhere in the Premier League? That is not decided yet.
And 10 points from 4 games gets you second, which would be the club's best finish in a decade. What else would that bring apart from the pride in finishing as high as you can?
Look, what we feel we have made progress in our consistency, in our quality, in our stability, and that's what we want to continue and feel. I believe it's important that we finish, of course, as close as possible to Chelsea and come out of the season and think we are ready for a challenge next season.
You think that sets you up for a title push next season?
Yes, that's the target, of course, and it will, as you said, Man United just announced the pie. It's difficult to know how strong every team will be next year, but you gain as well your confidence from what you have achieved the year before and how well you have moved forward. And on that front, that's why for us it's very important that we continue to be consistent until the end of the season.
Thank you.
Arsene, what do you feel, you're in the midst of a great unbeaten run at the moment, what do you feel was the real turning point this season? When did it really change? Can you pinpoint when it was?
I believe you just look at the stats, at the results. Sometimes you have not to be too complicated. Since January we lost only 1 game in the league. That is against at Tottenham, I think, 2-1, and we were 1-0 up on top of that. But the turning point, there are many turning points. One of them was that we had some players back who as well, but defensively we were much stronger in the second part of the season than in the first part of the season, and we have still room for improvement there, and maybe get more stability, better balance in the team.
Gary Monk is a young British manager. He's done very well. How impressed have you been with what he's done at Swansea?
It's impressive what he has done, because he's going to achieve certainly the highest total of number of points in the Premier League. I think he had, but Swansea as a club, I must say, has always identified good managers. We had a lot of success with Rodgers, Martinez, Laudrup, and now him. So they look to make the right decisions at this club. And as well, I must say, he inherited a team who plays good football, because Swansea is, in the last 4 or 5 years, has played quality game, and he has done very well in the continuity of that. And I think even more, he's a bit more focused on defending well, and that maybe defensive efficiency gave him a few more points.
This is not a loaded question, I promise, but he came through at Swansea. He knew the club. Do you think more clubs should mentor managers, should bring them
Yes,
through
of course.
And how is that done?
Look, how is that done? By just identifying people who have a potential to become managers and giving them a chance to be a coach at the club, and prepare them after to cope with all the responsibilities you have as a manager. The world has a little bit changed because the media pressure today is massive, and when I speak media, it's not only the newspapers or the radios or the televisions, but the overall pressure of the environment of a football club, pressure on people to make spectacular decisions is much bigger than before. So maybe it's more difficult.
Arsene, just quickly, obviously that win against Hull effectively secured you Champions League football for the 18th consecutive season. Given how the strength and depth in the Premier League these days, you must be proud of that record.
I'm proud of consistency, because it's not easy to produce quality every year, every day, and as well because for years we had to do it with less resources than people thought we have, and people forget about that, but we had to sell our best players for years, and to stay at the top, today I think we have gone over that hurdle and we can have higher ambitions again. But for years it was difficult.
And with those injuries that you've had to sort of key players, particularly recently, does that make you feel kind of what might have been if you'd had those players?
Look, maybe every club could say that, you know. I don't want to know. I just think that there's two things that are important is that you feel you move forward, you make progress, and as well that in the quality of the attitude of the players, you have a chance to make progress because every day they come in focused to do better. And I think these two ingredients are at the club at the moment, but it's very fragile as well. And you have to take care of that. We were not consistent enough. After 8 games, we were 11 points behind Chelsea. If we win our game in hand today, we are 10 points behind Chelsea. So that means in the first 8 games, we lost our championship. And that's what we have to redress next season and start strong.
And just finally, has Aaron been training this week at all? Like has he been able to do full training?
Who?
Aaron?
No, not at all. He's not been out yet.
Arsene, when a big club like Man United pays 25 million for a player this early, does it trigger the market in general? Does it get things going?
You have two calculations. They think the earlier we buy, the less expensive it is. But that's a speculation that you never master very well. They might think the whole market might go up because the English clubs will be out on the market there, and everybody in Europe expects us now to be capable to spend big money because we have a future good contract with television. So, but it can go as well the other way.
Do you expect it? I'm just speaking generally now. Do you expect it to be a big transfer window this summer? A lot of money being spent.
I don't believe so because the number of players who can strengthen the Premier League clubs are not massively important in number, and it's not like you go out there and you can choose players and pick players and buy. To strengthen today a Premier League team, you need to find top quality, and that's not easy.
Pochettino said yesterday he needed 5 new signings.
Who?
Pochettino, the Tottenham manager. How many do you think you need?
You want me to beat him? I don't think in number we need. We don't need. We have a squad of top quality, and if we can strengthen our squad, of course we'll do it. But let's finish well the season. Focus on doing well together until the end, and then see who can reinforce our squad.
Just ask you one about Carl Jacobson. I know you mentioned you've spoken to him. Presumably the likelihood is that he will go out on loan again because you've got Bella in here, you've got Debussy, you've got Chambers, you've got plenty of right backs as it is.
That's what I have to decide at the end of the season. We had where I agree with you. He needs experience. Carl is a young, promising, very promising right back with top quality, and he had a good year where he has really moved forward, and it's important that if he comes back, he has a good chance to play.
Just finally for me, is there any update on Theo Walcott's contract?
No.
Do you plan to talk to him at the end of the season?
Yes.
And
We are already talking to him.
okay, and he's got 1 year left, or just over 1 year. Is it a case with him that if he doesn't sign, you have to sell him to get the money?
Today I'm not in that kind of mode of thinking because I just think I want him to stay, and when you go into negotiations with a player, it is with a desire for him to stay, you know, and he looks keen to do it. I am keen to do it, so let's see what comes out.
But if you don't get there, it's not a case that you feel you have to sell him to.
You never go. The press is always in what you do in case of failure, and we are always in a mode we want to be successful, you know. But in case of failure, we'll see. But case of failure anyway will only be in December next year.
Arsene, ahead of the game on Monday night, no player has had as many assists in the Premier League as Santi Cazorla, 28, since his debut back in 2012. Can you just explain why do you think he's achieved such a formidable record for you in terms of that?
Because of his technical quality and of his intelligence, and he's a model to watch. Because honestly, if you go out and you watch Cazorla play, you think this is not a player. When you watch him in Spain, who can, who's specifically a player for the Premier League, you know, and he's a fantastic example that no matter how tall you are, it's about how good you are, and he's a very intelligent player, and he shows as well how important it is to be right and left-footed in midfield, and he's a good example of how you should educate young players who play in midfield to have right and left foot.
And this new role in the middle now, do you think that will be his permanent position for Arsenal?
Yes, for sure.
Just because of the way he's just adapted to it and
No, because he gets at an age where he has experience, and where on the flanks it's a bit more difficult for him, and his technical quality, his vision and his experience are very important central.